Hey, you guys, good morning from Newport Beach. Got another cool bus actually to go ahead and share with you. And I was actually really lucky to go ahead and see this bus a long time ago. And the first time I saw it, I thought, what a cool bus. I mean, super original. I thought this thing is so neat. Well, since then, my buddy Paul actually has been in magazines now, so he's big time. But I thought that it would be fun to go ahead and actually go ahead and do an interview on Paul. So you guys, here we are with Paul. This is Paul Best, and he's kind enough to go ahead and have us here in his man cave. So Paul, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Hey, this is really cool. So thank you for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it. It's always neat driving through the neighborhoods and seeing people with, all sorts of cars, all new cars. Yeah. And then you pull up and there's a garage door open and here you see a 1966 bus. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? I like this guy. Yeah. It stands out.
It's old school.
Yeah, it is, which is really neat. So I got to ask, how did you get into Volkswagens originally? Where did this start?
Back after college, and I had no money, a friend of mine introduced me to a German guy in Santa Monica, and I bought a 58 Beetle, 36 horsepower.
Oh, cool.
For $500.
I love that.
Put 75,000 miles on it. Wow. Went everywhere. But
wow.
Great car. But that's how I got introduced to them. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So that's where it all started. Now, was that something that you were looking for? Was it Volkswagen, or was it just because
it was economical? And I could afford it, and I could afford the maintenance too.
Oh, that's cool. So did you learn how to work on it yourself then too?
I did, with the help of that John Muir's the Guide for Complete Idiots.
Yeah.
A couple of us in high school took on, well, a little after high school, college, took on rebuilding a couple of Volkswagen engines, but that was the extent of my mechanical career.
That's actually really cool.
It was fun.
That's how I started as well, which is really interesting.
You could do it with that book. You were patient. Funny guy.
The funny part about that book is the fact that it always felt like somebody was talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you'd read something and it would say, make sure you tighten this. And then it would say, now, did you remember to go ahead and do this in step 2? And I'm like, oh my God, no, I didn't, thanks to ADD. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's pretty neat. So 58 Beetle, how long did you have that one for?
Oh gosh, probably 15 years. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Oh yeah, well I drove it a lot.
Well,
surprisingly,
cool.
When I look back, yeah.
Oh, that's neat. No, are you originally from California?
Yeah, born in Santa Monica.
Wow, I was born in Santa Monica. St. John's, where were you?
St. John's, yeah.
See what I mean, people?
Different years.
No way, that's really wild.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so both born in Santa Monica. I did not have a 58 Beetle though, so. Wow, that's cool. Okay, so then you had the 58 Beetle, and then did you graduate onto a bus, or was this your first bus?
I then had a couple of motorcycles in a row, not consecutively, not in pairs, a couple of Triumphs. And then I bought a Squareback.
Wow, what year, do you remember?
Oh God, it was used, it was in West LA, can't remember. Early 70s.
Okay.
Tan. And, but the engine blew out, and so
Was it fuel injected? Do you remember?
No, it was. I remember the engine was in the back and overheated. Something about the cylinder heads not being the same material as the block, and anyhow, so it didn't work out.
That one died, huh?
That one died. Yeah. It seemed good at the time, but it wasn't. Anyhow.
It moved on from the Squareback, huh?
Yeah.
Now, did you sell the Beetle, or did you keep that?
I kept that all along. My dad had a manufacturing plant in Hawthorne.
Okay.
And so there was a yard there that I was able to keep it there, so I just stashed it.
Oh, really?
I ultimately gave it away to one of the workers there. He was a good guy, and his grandson was getting to the age where he wanted a car, and I said, here.
Wow.
So
and you gave it to him?
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
This was before the explosion, and I don't give away Volkswagens anymore.
Right.
It was a good car.
It's interesting. I don't know if you had the opportunity to meet Hot Dog Fred, but he was
with the blue, the bay window.
No, Hot Dog Fred had he had a single cab, and and he sold hot dogs at every show. He passed away,
okay.
sadly. But it was interesting because Hot Dog Fred was actually, I think he might have been the only one. Yeah, and they called him Hot Dog Fred because he always sold hot dogs at all the shows.
Okay.
But Fred had a
Surfing
65-21 window, and he ended up going up to Kelly Park, I think, and if I remember correctly, he got stolen. And everybody, put out the APB. We got to find Fred's bus, and so I believe it was Lenny Kopp actually from West Coast. From anyway, West Coast Classics, and it was interesting that we found the bus. Not we, the community found the bus, and then they went ahead and had Chip Foose do it on the show on Overhauling.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, so Fred actually had the bus, but when that bus got stolen, my buddy Dave, who sadly also passed away, Dave and I were sitting at the shop one day and we thought, hey, you know what? Fred doesn't have a bus. I'm like, We had this single cab that was sitting outside the shop. I said, you know what? Let's call Fred up, see if he wants to come over and have a beer. So anyway, we ended up giving him that the single cab, which they still use today. And it was just kind of funny because we told him, we're like, yeah, you can have it, but if we ever want to buy it back or something, let us know. But yeah, we didn't want it back. But that's really cool of you to go ahead and give the bug away. Now, do you know what happened to the bug? Did the grandson fix it up?
No, I never traced it after that. Yeah,
it's got to make you wonder where it ended up.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
That's
Then I found another bus. A guy was picking up a Mercedes that he had bought in Corona, and he said, hey, there's a Volkswagen bus in the back you might be interested in. And it was a bay window, a 69.
Okay.
And we had to dig it out, get it towed out.
Wow.
But a former neighbor over here. And I rescued it, pulled it out, and together rebuilt it, had the engine rebuilt and stuff like that, and reupholstered. Not, it was kind of amateurish, but it was done tastefully.
Oh, that's cool. But you brought it back to life.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's pretty neat. So where's that one?
That one got sold.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into this one.
Okay.
Because I wanted a splitty. I've always wanted a splitty. So that really whet my appetite after rebuilding this thing and saying, hey, so I started looking.
That's cool.
Found it.
That is very cool. So I guess with that said, you guys want to check out this bus or what? You guys, this thing's so cool.
21 years ago, yeah.
21 years ago?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No.
I didn't know that was that long ago.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this. I mean, it's a 66.
Yeah. It's
Riviera.
It's a Riviera, which is the article.
Oh yeah. And show everybody. Yeah, I'm telling you guys. Like I was saying, Paul ended up actually having Stefan Santide shoot it for Javi W's in the vintage special issue too, which is really cool.
I was very stoked about that.
That's so cool. Well, like I said, this bus, when I saw it, I thought this thing's rad.
So Stefan did a great job.
Look at that.
So anyhow, I wanted a splitty, and so I went online, an estate sale, and
no way, an estate sale.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was eBay.
Okay.
And some estate some guy was liquidating an estate, and he put it up for sale, and it had in it something that I'll get in a minute. That really convinced me to buy it, and it wound up in this article, as a matter of fact. And that was the mileage record that he kept of it.
Really?
Which was a deal maker for me, because when I looked at that, I said, "Boy, this guy's handwritten in all his tune-ups and stuff like that." Here it is, right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, so
that's so cool.
He logged in all his
oh my god
chassis lube, and as soon as I saw that, I said, I want that one.
Yeah.
Because it's been maintained.
Yeah, it's documented. Look at that.
Isn't that cool?
When did it stop?
It stopped in 2002, but
oh wow, all the way.
He slowed down the last 8 years or whatever. I've done a little synopsis on it. in my office. But and this is what, 02, it's 89.
Wow.
And then
yeah,
it's
big
02, see the gap there.
13-year gap. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think he probably fell ill, passed away somewhere in here. And then somebody else, not this guy, see the difference in handwriting?
Yeah. Look at that.
Maybe a relative or something tried to keep it up for a little bit. And then I bought it in 2004, so they must have been preparing it for.
That's
so I left
cool.
it there. I didn't want to make any more entries. I've got my own.
Right. But now wait a minute. So Paul, is that correct? The mileage? Is that the mileage?
Well,
on it?
I'm assuming it's
It might have
125.
rolled? Okay.
Well, because this guy picked it up with
You're right.
here's 74, 84.
Okay.
He picked it up with 31.
31,000.
So the first owner put 31 on it, and then this guy put like 95.
Wow.
See him? It just
That's
goes on and
awesome.
on. Look at this.
That is fantastic.
So when I looked at that, I didn't fly. It was in Washington, but
Oh, really?
I didn't fly up there to see it. I just said, okay, I'll take a flyer on this one.
That's
and
cool.
it was great.
That is so
So
cool.
anyhow, it's all original. Original paint inside, original wood inside as well. I've refurbished it with Howard's Restore Finish, which is a great product.
Look at this thing.
And,
I mean, what, and the color on the outside? What's
it's
this color?
it's an L345 light gray. It's called.
Okay.
It's got some green hues to it, but
And then the rooftop was painted.
that's fiberglass.
Oh no, not that part. I'm sorry. This part. Here,
Oh, that's
this,
a
down here.
white. Yeah, it came that way. It was originally a panel van.
Okay.
You can see because
Yeah.
it didn't have these windows.
Right.
And one of the things that distinguishes a Riviera camper from a Westfalia is these are sliders, sliding windows, not Jalous or louvers.
Yeah.
I prefer sliders.
You know what?
Not
That
having the
actually
windows
is pretty
stick
neat.
out.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
really noticed that they were sliders.
And even driving, you can open these as opposed to, I wouldn't want louvers.
Right, right. Well, I'll tell you, the other ones that open up really, really tall. I remember Jeff Kritz saying, he goes, we call those Sumi windows.
Yeah.
Because you walk by,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just take your head off.
So so this thing pushes up. You can't sleep in it, but you can stand up in it, which makes a world of difference in terms of space. Wow. And then I put in a refrigerator.
Now, did it have an ice box before?
It had an ice box, which I still have, but
Okay.
but
This is
you know,
handier.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I just got a little.
That is
you
so
know,
cool.
So there's a
Okay.
plug, and if I just go and get full hookups if I want, and just
Now,
plug it
is
in.
the upholstery original as well?
yeah, yeah.
Dude,
all
look
that's
at that.
original.
I love that color.
The curtains are not, but
Okay.
those are ratted out. So.
Oh, they're still pretty neat.
And then in the front, Octavio did the two seats.
Okay. So walk through with your,
Yeah, the funny thing was
Mesh
is
gray,
that the
dark
guy
gray.
had an altimeter in here, and this seat was really beat up,
okay.
but that one wasn't. It was pristine. So
Wow.
my hunch is he left Mama at home and did a lot of
And went on his
personal
own?
camping because that was virtually unused.
Wow, yeah. Mark, you got to check it out. This thing is so clean. That dash, look at that. That is beautiful.
Yeah, I left the Sapphire radio in there because it was 6 volt. Mm-hmm. I had it converted to 12.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Oh yeah, much more practical.
And you got your 66 only knob, your flasher knob.
Yeah, I got that online.
Yeah.
The
that's
horn
cool.
button.
Yeah, I like that. That is
Yeah,
so
I wanted to
nice.
leave the rest of it, like these.
Uh-huh.
If you can overdo it, by getting everything and
Yeah.
plastering all over. I indulged when I bought those, and then I Velcroed that on there just for fun.
Uh-huh. Now, this is really, really neat. Now, did you add the safaris or...
I bought them from you.
Okay, all right. I'm glad I remember that.
and Brian Washburn,
He installed them,
your
huh?
compatriot, right around
That's
the-
what it was.
right.
That's right. That's when Washburn
Yeah, yeah.
was at his old shop.
Oh, has he got a new
Yeah,
one?
Well, he's next door. He's in a bigger
Okay.
one now. But that's right. I
No
do
doubt.
remember
He was
pulled
growing.
up. Yeah.
Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah. No, this is so
Yeah, this is
nice.
great. I got them from you. He
This
put
is-
them in, and then he had me finish up by painting. I had touch-up paint, so he
That's
said, make sure
great.
you paint these things, and
Ah.
taught me how to use them. They're great. I love them.
So, Paul, have you gone on any epic camping trips with this thing?
Yeah,
yet?
6 weeks ago, I drove this up to Halama Beach near Lompoc.
Awesome.
That's an awesome campground, and I always go on the upper level in with the Class A
Okay.
motorhomes because it's got a fantastic view of everything down below in the Pacific Ocean and Vandenberg Air Force
How cool.
Base. And so it's a great place to camp, and it's a plug-in fire ring right there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it made the journey just fine. So.
And I can only imagine that when you got there, everybody wanted to go ahead and talk to you and
Oh
come
yeah,
check it out.
it was
huh?
funny. It's a magnet, you know.
It is a magnet, you know, and I think it's really, really neat. And it's pretty. I didn't realize that you had it that long.
Yeah.
I
in
mean-
like 2004.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, 21 years ago.
Dude, this thing is
Yeah.
really,
I
really
did.
clean.
I did take out all of the interior, the entire interior, to insulate it.
Oh,
It was
really?
not insulated. I took everything off here, every screw, and I wire brushed the head of every screw.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That was a long process, but then it soundproofed it better. I didn't put the kill mats, which I'd like to put in.
Uh-huh.
So
So how long
I
did
may
that
go
take
in.
you?
I don't know. I didn't count. You
that
just
seems
start on
like
a
it would've been a
project like
project.
that, you know.
Yeah.
But thinking about going back in again because I've got hard insulation in there.
Okay.
And, but I want to put some of that kill mats.
Mm-hmm.
You know that
Yeah,
stuff.
the sound deadening. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just hug it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, that'll be nice. You know, it's interesting looking at some of the details on here. I dig this. Did you make these?
I made those,
You
right?
did? Okay.
Because yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They when their fingernails got caught
Yeah.
on the edge of this fabric, and so if you took those off, it shredded.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at that, I just went over to Ace and got some aluminum,
Uh-huh.
cut it out, and used the same holes, used the same screws that
Yeah.
these were in, and it looks like it was made from the factory.
No,
So.
it's a great idea. It's a
And
really
it's
good
plain
idea.
Jane, so it fits with the panel.
Right.
You know, there's no fancy.
Yeah. And these panels look like they're the original ones.
Oh yeah, those
mean,
are the only thing that are
geez, these are so
these seat
clean.
covers are NOS.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, that's crazy. They're
Yeah.
amazing. But this is a really good idea. I think the other thing too is it probably strengthens it as well. You know, since you've got a little bit of a
It
metal
made a lot of
backing.
sense to me, so
Yeah.
I made two of them.
I mean, the seals. When you start looking at these seals, it's kind of cool just to see the original seals. in
There are
here.
they're a little crotchety in certain spots, but overall it's in fantastic shape.
Yeah. Now, one of the
I took
things-
some touch-up paint and did little spots, but
You know what's really cool though about a bus like this that I enjoy looking at is the fact that when you go to see a bus that maybe has been stripped down and perhaps is still original paint, it's always nice to see an original example as far as what it would have looked like when it left the factory. Let's
this
say.
is
So-
exactly what it would look
Yeah,
like.
yeah, which is really cool. The other thing that I noticed as well is, let me close this so I don't put this against this. On the window frames, it's cool to see the faux
this one?
wood frame. Yeah, but I've never seen. I don't know if you could see
The
this
bay?
one. More, the length of that bottom one. I've never I've seen some of the ones on for let's say the pop outs, if you will.
Yeah.
But I've never seen
That's
that
the
one.
Riviera that
Yeah.
that they did those, and then I made this little shelf here because I was sitting
like
in
a
the
drink
back
holder?
seat and I didn't have a place to put my beer, so it just slides off and then the table comes up.
That's so cool. That is really, really cool.
But other than that, it's just little things like putting hooks in
Uh-huh.
here and just to hang a flashlight or whatever,
yeah.
small stuff like that.
I think this thing is so cool. I love the details. Just it's interesting seeing. You see Westies, you see obviously Rivieras. I think there's an Adventure. There's so many different camping outfits.
Yeah.
But when you see the Riviera and you see the large window on the side, you always think to yourself, "Oh my God, they cut the biggest hole there." However, when you're sitting inside here, it's awesome
It's
view.
a bay window. Yeah,
it's a bay window,
yeah,
right?
and it doesn't
Yeah.
have the posts in between the windows.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the body is like 6 inches or whatever between windows. So
Yeah, but yet by the same token, the frame, the window frame with the two
it's only
parallels,
those
so
two.
it gives it
just
some strength.
slides, you know.
Yeah. That's cool.
I mean, I've got
That
this.
is cool.
It has screens, but I've taken them off.
Uh-huh. Oh, that is so neat.
Yeah.
Now, the little dome light that's there, did you add that?
I did
You did
add it
Okay, so-
because
wow.
it had these two.
Yeah.
And then the other one was missing, and
Okay.
it's not originally. I think it was another. It was kind of a funky looking lamp. I can't remember what the original looked
okay.
like, but it wasn't one of these.
Huh, okay.
But I just went, you know,
Yeah, I think it
whatever.
looks
So I
great.
just the wiring was there, so I just put that in there
Uh-huh.
to match these and stuck that thing up there. That's from a hood, like the Volkswagen in the middle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
usually found on the hood. I
Yeah,
got that
uh-huh.
online.
That's pretty neat. No, I like the
I
I like the
worked on it.
crests. So as far as the as far as the bus goes, obviously on the roof you've got the little rail here for your awning. Did
Yeah,
it
I
have
have
the
that.
awning as well?
Yes, I do.
That's
Yeah,
so
I got it.
awesome.
It's brown and white. It's very heavy. You could go through a snowstorm in it. And it covers both those doors.
Oh, does it? Okay. Yeah, I guess it would, huh?
Yeah.
That's
See,
so
when that's
cool.
open, it goes all the way to here.
All right.
It comes out to about this far,
Okay. And then
and it
you're
has
anchoring
sides
it?
and a door. You could enclose the whole thing.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
used to have my girls stay in there when they're young, and then I'd have a cot in here. So it's a whole nother vestibule, and when that thing is up, then that works very well to.
That's so cool. Just
yeah.
stand up in there and
So, but it's very cumbersome, and I added this to the bus right
You added
here
what?
about a year ago.
what's that?
Well, I forgot to lash the thing down, and a gust of wind came and took it and flipped it
No.
on this. But it was tethered because of the rope in here. But the galvanized poles were swinging around.
No way.
And one of them scraped right through here, but that was the
Wow.
only damage. So.
Well, that's good. You got lucky. I mean, that's,
yeah.
that's pretty
So I
nice
just-
scratch there. Huh. So I love this. And check this out, Mark, and if you don't mind. These are the kind of things that I love on original cars that are still present. These tiny little the hinge caps, you know, and the fact that you see that they're on the bottom, on top and the bottom is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, I mean, you'll see
Look at
some
the-
cars that are like, you know, restored and they don't have any of them.
I think this was a strap
Yep.
for when it was a panel, and there's one right here as well. I'm not quite sure how that worked, but my guess is that
I've
was
never
a
seen one
strap
up
for the
there.
doors when it was a panel
I
van.
wonder if they might have added that one. Yeah, so usually that's going to be for the, there's two screw
Right.
holes on here. So
I
it'll
have
limit.
I have that shelf. I just took it off because
Okay.
because it was on the door a lot. Every
Bam,
time you open it,
bam.
bang, bang, and
Yeah.
it just pulled the screws out. And as you know, you can't. You
That
can
gets
make a
old.
screw hole bigger, but not smaller. You know.
Right, right.
So I just took it off and said, I don't really use it a lot. I mean, I have it.
No, this thing's cool. Now, so what's powering it? Is it a
It's
1500 or what is it?
It originally was a 1500, and I had a board out to it 1600.
You did, okay.
Yeah.
Look at these cushions, you guys. These are so
Yeah,
nice.
that's original.
And I love that color. I mean, that's
Yeah,
crazy
isn't it
that
cool?
that's original. Dude, it's so clean. I mean, it makes you wonder if anybody actually even slept on this thing.
Well, there's this little guy that put 95,000 miles on this thing.
Right?
You know, with an altimeter and a compass and.
That's
and
so cool. Well, he must have not weighed very much because it looks like, I mean, it
no,
just
I
looks
think he was
new.
a small guy, but it was mostly in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay. Look at this. This is neat. I love details like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they ultimately started consulting with Westy, as I'm told, but
Really?
Riviera,
Huh.
Riviera Motor Company. He had the dealership for Oregon, Washington, and Alaska.
Wow.
So he made these things in Portland,
Uh-huh.
and then had them installed in Seattle before it came through the port,
Really? Okay.
so that they could avoid what was called the chicken tax. on panel vans because it was a
Yeah.
commercial vehicle.
Right. Right.
So they converted these to station wagons after
Yeah.
that and avoided the tax.
I like that.
It also helped them sell the panel vans because they were forced to take them,
Yeah.
but they couldn't otherwise sell them just as panel vans in the States, like they used them a lot. In
Yeah.
Europe, you've got some of those high
it-
boys.
It's interesting that they still have this chicken tax in effect today.
It's
if
a
you
tariff.
import a truck, we got some crazy dogs somewhere, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy dog attack.
Yeah,
I
every
love
day.
it. The chicken tax. I mean, personally, I think it's annoying because if I'm importing a truck from Germany today, let's say a '63 single cab, they want to nail you for 25%. Of what you paid for it. And I'm like, why? Because that '63 single cab is going to compete with today's electric trucks? Give me a break.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a money grab, but whatever, Now, the other thing that I've always wanted to challenge is the chicken tax was in effect, I believe, in 1964.
Yes.
So if you had a '63, should that tax apply? I don't know. But anyway. So you said originally it was a 1500.
It was 1500,
Look at
right?
this.
6-volt 1500.
Paul, this is so clean. This
Yeah,
is great.
I just had him bore it out while he was rebuilding it, because it just give it. And he said, don't give it any more horsepower because the car wasn't designed to go faster than that. He was right.
No, this is great. I love it with the stock air cleaner hose and everything.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything.
It's it's so nice.
It'd be nice to get one of those dialed in,
What's that?
pulleys. The pulley here. It'd be nice to have one of those ones with the numbers on it.
Oh,
Little things like that. But I don't know.
yeah, no.
But then again, it's this is the way it came.
Yeah,
I
mean,
just
it's
I
cool.
cleaned
You
it
added an
up, and
alternator, so at least obviously you got a little bit more juice, which is nice. So no, this thing's clean. I love that. It still has the little short distributor.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I've got to ask, I mean, obviously seeing that, is it possible to go for a little cruise in it?
You bet.
Yeah,
You bet.
I mean, especially,
One other thing
we're not too far from
I've added
PCH.
here
Yeah.
is I just put 2 screws in here. I got 2 poles.
Okay.
See on the underside here?
Oh.
They're flanges,
yeah.
like pipe,
Right.
a 1-inch galvanized pipe.
Yeah.
I go in there, screw those in there, and I have another pad that I have that I'm going to get upholstered
Okay.
and put it out here, and it extends the bed because I have a tent that I bought from the bus depot,
Okay.
and it's got in the meantime, this is either a picnic table or whatever, but it goes down here. It's in the article
that's
there,
awesome.
and has a door with a screen on it.
Okay.
So you can camp out here and see like this. If you're here,
Yeah.
when you get up in the morning, you hit your head.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're out here, it's less chance of that happening.
That's
But
so
it's also
cool.
vestibule or whatever if you want to change your clothes standing up as opposed to
Yeah.
whatever. And it gives you more room.
Actually, that's a really neat idea.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
it's simple enough.
And you don't see it. That's what's funny.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Oh, how cool.
I have a pad. I ordered one of these, cut it up just like this. And I know a
Were you
guy.
able to find the material?
I haven't found the material yet. I haven't looked, but I'll probably use this as a sample.
Yeah.
Take that off.
Oh, that's so cool.
But anyhow, so
Very cool.
That's a little feature that.
I love how clean the primer paint still is, on this
Yeah.
thing.
I
It's
have
so neat.
gone through and cleaned up every one of these. Anything that
Oh,
has a screw
mechanisms and
top on
stuff?
it, or all of those. I just
Right.
put it on the wire wheel and dulled them up.
That's so cool.
I made it clean. It had a powder coated.
Love the way it closes.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like, "Gah,"
And it's still it's kind of cretted out in a like see this.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
it wasn't, but the rest of it's in
Right.
good shape.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
about the worst
I've
of it.
definitely seen worse. The only thing that you got to be careful with, I remember, another person to bring up, sadly that's passed on, Tim Leventree. I remember I was working on his bus, and his seal was like just non-existent. And it was a really cool, all original velvet green bus. Yeah. And I was driving it back to his house, and I was starting to kind of get a little lightheaded. Well, the exhaust seems to just travel right up through, so that seal actually prevents the exhaust from coming in. And it was coming back when I got to his house. I'm like, hey, dude, we should probably I should probably put a new seal on there. You know? Nice headache too. Nice headache. But yeah,
All right,
it'd
so
be fun.
so you want to cruise?
Yeah, if you don't mind, maybe we just go
be
for a
fun.
quick little cruise and check it out.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's go, you guys. Got it.
Why make it easier for some dude
Right,
to...
exactly. Listen to that. Listen to the door. Love that. It's always so nice when you don't have to slam doors, you know?
Yeah, I have a thing, but I take that out when I'm showing it.
Oh, right.
It's just I made just a bracket in there, and it just
Oh, cool.
turns in there. And I don't know if you want to buckle up back there, but
I think it's good.
yeah, it's not the end of the world.
So how often do you drive with the safaris open?
Never.
Never,
I did
huh?
once.
Yeah?
You know, just tilted, and they just came in, and I just went, look, you know, you're
like,
just
"No."
asking for trouble.
Yeah. No, I know.
You know,
Yeah.
To what advantage? It's just, you know, I got all with the wind wings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Enough.
You
I mean,
can
the wind
direct the
wings
air.
definitely direct a lot of air.
They really do.
The last time that I was driving my devil cab that came with safaris, my wife and I had to go to Home Depot, and I said, come on, we'll take devil cab. She's like, it's 95, 97 degrees. And I said, don't worry. I said, just bring glasses. And we opened those suckers up, and man, what a difference. You know, what a difference. This is really clean, Paul. I love that sound back there.
Well, my guy, his name was Paul Freck. It was CNF Auto down to Costa Mesa, Hamilton and Placentia,
Oh, yeah, I know where
near
that is.
El Ranchito.
Uh-huh.
It's right on the corner there. He passed away, but
Aw.
he was a great guy.
Uh-huh.
Worked for Volkswagen America, old salty dog,
Wow.
but he knew his stuff. And when he was done with it,
Uh-huh.
he said, drive it at 63 miles an hour.
63.
Yeah, and I
He
said,
was that
really?
specific.
Yeah, because there's no tack or anything on it, you know. And I said, okay. And he goes, that's the sweet spot. So I went, okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and so
Interesting.
I can tell when I get up on the freeway
Yeah.
that without looking, I can tell if I'm going above or below 63 because it just loves it at 63. He was so correct. I keep remembering him saying that.
That's neat.
And so that's most of the time where I cruise it because it's just, there's a sound of the engine.
Uh-huh.
And as you know, in these things, you're driving in, you're part of the vehicle.
Well, you know, the other thing too is that, I mean, it's going to last longer.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? I mean, just being nice to it. I always feel like if I'm in a hurry, then I'll take a different car. But one of the things that I always enjoyed about driving my bus, and especially when I was driving my bus to Disneyland a lot, it was a 60 double door panel. And I remember whenever I would cruise that thing, it forced me to slow down, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't go fast. I didn't have a radio. I mean, it was just a bare bones panel.
Right, yeah.
And it forces you to slow down. But the nice part is that you actually enjoy your surroundings a little bit more.
Yeah, you do.
You know?
This gets blown around a lot,
Oh, yeah.
I have to say. Because even a truck going by, you know, the shroom, you know, you just feel it.
Paul, try a high roof.
Yeah, right.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you.
I know. You got the high roofs,
Dude,
right.
it is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a big box. And
Yeah.
yours is even, yeah, I can't imagine what that's like.
It helps if you've got some weight in it,
Well, yeah.
you know, but then
there's
the
still
more
this
weight,
little,
the harder it is to
you know,
stop.
it's a little bus going down.
Yep. It's a little bread box.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you though, one of the things that I enjoy about these.
I'm going to go up and over,
Okay.
so we'll get a nice view going down the hill.
Oh, okay. Sounds great.
And then
Except for the cones. I wonder what they had going on here, huh?
they're slurring the neighborhood,
Oh, okay.
re-slurring. I've already done my street, but yeah.
The thing that I love about these cars, though, is that you go anywhere and you always are the popular one, you know?
Yeah. The fancy cars, the newer ones, that's fine. There's a lot more money in it. But it's, and the gals, you know, when they see it, they always want to come up and look at it, and like at shows and stuff like that. And,
Right.
you know, they got a little sparkle in their eye, and they go, I remember when, you know, so it brings back good memories for a lot of people.
I know. You know, what's interesting is not just the memories, you know, and I mean, people are always talking about, oh, I grew up in one, or oh, I had one.
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
Or you knew somebody who did.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's it's definitely iconic, and they're fun. They're definitely fun. I do like coming out though of a parking lot, whether you're at a grocery store or somewhere. You can always spot your car.
Oh yeah. There's no question.
If you have a white Tesla or a black Tesla, good luck.
Yeah,
you know?
they all look alike.
Good luck. And no, what a beautiful day too to go for a cruise in this.
Yeah.
So how was the drive when you went up north? Did you go up Highway 1 or?
I went around 101.
Okay, how's the wind?
Well, fortunately that day I was looking at the wind. You know, because that's the bane of the truck.
Right.
That and rain.
Oh yeah.
But wind is really tough.
Yeah.
But it was fine. I didn't have any problems in that regard. But I was going 60, 65. I wasn't, like you said,
That's
you're
still
just driving
pretty
along.
good, though.
You know, there's no hurry.
Yep. Chugging along.
Yeah.
These are the kind of hills that you don't want to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Lose your grip and start flying down.
Yeah, no kidding. So if we're lucky, be able to see the bay down there to your right.
Yeah.
This is Spyglass, which is old.
Yep.
Old money Newport, but 70s.
I remember this
60s,
area.
70s.
Yeah. I remember
And
one time.
that was the place until Big Canyon was built and all that.
Yep.
And then Newport Coast.
Right. Yeah, Spyglass Hill. There was a home up here that I fell in love with. And I went by one day and I asked the people that lived there, you know, just started chatting with them. The guy was the CEO of Toys R Us. Yeah, and it was just amazing. I remember they didn't just have one tennis court, they had 2 tennis courts. I thought, unbelievable, man. Just incredible stuff. So you were born in Santa Monica, grew up here in Southern California. When did you end up down here in Newport?
It was in early 80s.
Okay.
Came here and got an opportunity, job opportunity, and got into real estate, commercial shopping centers.
Oh, right on.
And so my wife and I raised our kids here.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're still in the same house.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. We moved to Oregon for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
I heard the last text you texted me that you were in Lincoln, Oregon.
Yeah, we were in Lincoln, Oregon.
Is that on the coast?
Yeah, it's on the coast.
Yeah, I had to look it up because we were in Bend, in the middle of the state.
Okay.
But yeah, we lived there for 6 years and then moved back 3 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
We rented our house out for an obscene amount of money. Yeah, it was just crazy, but we liked it up there.
It's beautiful. It really is. And it was so funny because when my wife and I flew up there, we went to go meet family up there that was vacationing. And when we were up there, got on the highway, look at that view. And the first car that we saw, a 67 Westie on the freeway. And then when we came home, we landed in Orange County, get on the 55 freeway, and what do we see? A 67 Westie. I thought, you got to be kidding me. And
God.
I think somebody confirmed because I couldn't really tell, couldn't see the license plate from far away, but I think that was Charlie Link's 67 Westie. But yeah, no, it was so funny. My favorite though was the Oregon plates that were on the one that we saw there. The plate said "No hurry."
Oh,
And I'm like,
nice.
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I got lucky with my plates.
Yeah.
I took a stab at. I just wanted the black. With
The legacy plates.
Yeah, the legacy plates.
Right.
So then I just thought of that phrase, 66 Type 2.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd get it. In comes the plates. And I just went, oh my God. I thought somebody would have grabbed that.
That's cool.
But I was lucky to get that. Which
Well,
is
I tell
always
you,
fun.
we do get quite the breeze in here with, because that window's open, huh? And
Well,
then, and this is open too.
And
Got it.
So
Okay.
if I went like that, Mark
there
will
we
get
go.
it.
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
know,
there
it
you
goes
go.
straight back to him.
Okay.
And there's a scoop right up here, as you know.
Yep.
You've got them.
That's so funny. My vet is around here. I come all the way here for to bring my dog.
Foo-foo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
yeah. No, this is so cool, man.
Yeah, and it runs just like it's like you're feeling it and hearing it. It's
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like, is the fact that, it's always interesting when you're cruising around, whether it's hot, cold, whatever, they just keep going, you know?
Yeah, it's they're very reliable.
And
But
I
it's
don't
a
know, I love
spring. It's a
buses.
springy ride. Like when you go 200 miles up to Halama Beach, it's
'cause you're sitting right above the axle.
boing, boing, boing. You know, yeah, and these. So it's like, I don't know.
Now you could put a little softer shock in the front.
Yeah,
I think COFAP is a Brazilian shock. Those seem to be a little bit softer, but then if you're going to load that thing up, then it's just a tad too soft.
that's about as far as I want to take it. You know, it's 200 miles each way,
Uh-huh.
and
Well, it's crazy when you hear those stories about people that lived on the East Coast and then decided to, come on out to the West Coast, load the family up, and
Oh,
cruise
God.
in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The farthest I ever got in a bus, at least farthest I ever got taking my wife, because she didn't realize just how long it was going to take. We went to the Colorado River.
oh wow,
Yeah. And she was pregnant with our, with
Oh, my
our little
God.
daughter. And so,
nice combo. Yeah.
I told her, I said, hey, I go, you want to go to the river? Oh, it sounds like fun. I said, come on, let's go. But I will say that on that trip, there were so many cars overheating, and we were just
exactly.
passing them. And I thought, all right.
The tortoise and the hare.
Yep. Now this is pretty cool for you guys watching back there. This is going to be pretty neat. Once we come around this corner here, you're going to get a pretty beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean. I've actually run on this hill before. My in-laws have a little place down here, timeshare down at the Marriott.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
And so it's kind of like, okay, well, let's see. I'm scheduled to run today, so I guess I'll go for it. And I think to myself, do I want to do the flat land down by PCH, or do I want to tackle this hill?
Yeah.
I thought, let's tackle the hill. And
Right down here is where Stefan shot
really?
shoot for Hot VWs.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys do it at Marriott?
No, he found the spot. I didn't know of it, but there's a driveway that is, there's no real sign in front of it. I'll show it to you.
Okay.
And it's a day park area where you can hike down a little bit, not very far.
Okay.
But just hang out there.
Okay.
I never knew it existed.
Well, leave it to the photographer to find the secret spot, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a little cloudy today, you guys. A little bit of a...
Yeah, I'm trying to let these trucks go.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. But if you look right out there, that's the ocean.
Yeah, Newport Coast
Yeah.
over there.
It's beautiful down here.
There's a high boy.
Yeah. What's interesting, I've always wondered with those things, I mean, I'm getting blown around in a high roof.
I know.
And these guys go on the 10 freeway on the way to Arizona with crazy winds, and they're not everywhere.
And they don't have dualies.
Yeah, but it's amazing. One of the guys told me they have some sort of stability control or something. And I thought, all I have is white knuckle control.
Yeah, right.
That's about it. Man.
Right. There, right there. See
Oh,
that?
wow, yeah. Okay.
It's like a driveway.
So you can actually go hiking in the.
It's right past the
hill.
Marriott.
Okay.
I don't know how far down you can hike,
Right.
but you can park your car and go out to a spot to look at the ocean or whatever.
Very cool.
And it's right there next to the
That's
Marriott.
so funny. I never knew. And considering we've
I didn't either.
come here so often. How funny. Yeah, I remember one time coming down here, I brought my ambulance, and it was kind of fun to, you're on PCH on Pacific Coast Highway for people that don't know what PCH is.
Coming up.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I know, right?
Oh, you cut in front of me and then brake.
I know. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say it. No, I'm going to say
Thank you,
it.
Volkswagen. I just had
Do
the
the
brakes
math,
in there.
people. If it's not a Prius, it's an Ionic. It's like, really? Clearly they don't understand that there's a bus coming down a hill with 60 miles an hour.
Oh, God. Drum brakes.
And so you're still drum brakes on this thing,
Oh,
huh?
yeah.
Okay. See, I had to upgrade to disc brakes. I had
I thought about it, but
I
it's a
just
big
couldn't,
digit.
man.
Yeah.
The only one that I've left alone is the ambulance. That still has drum brakes, just because it's all original.
Right.
But even the ice cream bus, I did disc brakes. But the other thing too is that right now, with the way prices are on things, it's cheaper to do disc brakes than to go and find. First of all, if you have a '67, a dual circuit master cylinder.
Yeah.
It'll cost you a fortune. It'll be like $400 or something or more.
Right.
And then the wheel cylinders are $100 a pop. And you need 4 for the front. So now you're at $800.
Right.
For a couple $100 more, you can have the dual circuit master cylinder plus disc brakes. So yeah, it just and the cool thing too is that SoCal Imports actually makes a kit that I use a lot. You can't tell that you have disc brakes unless you look underneath, which is nice. So it's a 0 offset, and I mean they're pretty awesome. And like I said, for the price, you just can't lose. And I've had some of those situations where people get in front of you, man, and then they they break in
like
front
that
of,
guy.
Yeah, it's like, dude, really? And I'll tell you, I don't want to jinx it, Paul, but I've actually had, when I had my double door panel, I had my brakes go out on me, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I learned that your drum can only be turned out so much.
Yeah.
I kept thinking it was the wheel cylinders.
Okay.
No, man, it was the drums. And not until you really kind of pressed on it, like when that got cut in front of us, suddenly pedal goes down. And you're like, think fast, dude. Think fast,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You got to be gearing and
oh yeah. And even then, and a lot of people say, "Oh, pull your e-brake." Oh, you mean the one that's covered in brake fluid?
Yeah, right. What's this guy doing?
I don't know. Oh, you know what that is? That's the shuttle that takes you down to the Beachcomber.
Right.
All right, so here we are, you guys, Pacific Coast Highway. Anyway, down here on the weekends, it's funny seeing all the hypercars.
Oh, yeah.
The Lambos and everything. You know?
Yeah. Well, they used to have a car show right up here.
Oh, okay.
When Starbucks was there.
Yeah.
And I put this in it before. I had a 47 Dodge that, not here, but around the corner up there. Newport Coast. But it was too loud for the residents. Guys would peel out on PCH and vroom, vroom, vroom. And all of a sudden, like you said, Lamborghinis and Maseratis would show up, and it was not as many of the older cars.
Right.
So it wasn't as much fun.
Yeah, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. They have a cruise down here. Have you ever taken it where they go down to San Clemente once a month?
No.
It starts in Huntington.
Okay.
I'll let you know the next time. I picked it up in Corona Del Mar.
Okay.
And there were about 30 cars, Volkswagens.
Really?
Bugs and buses.
Cool. All right.
And it went all the way down here at 8 o'clock in the morning. It hits Corona about 8 a.m.
Wow.
And down to San Clemente. And then there's hundreds of cars at this mall where they take you in and park you all together.
Oh,
and then you're part of this gigantic.
Yeah, the Cars and Coffee. Is it the SoCal Cars and Coffee?
Huge.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
It's
So I've been
gigantic.
there, but I haven't done the cruise.
Well, it's fun. You just and you drive right into the place. You don't have to worry about the parking. You're part of it.
Right.
And all I did was just. But it's so fun to be in a caravan. Driving right down here. That's where the car show used to be.
Right.
Oh, it was a
I do
great
remember
place.
that.
Oh, that was a great show.
You know what else is really cool is down here, in fact, and for those people that like to camp, one of the cool things is right here at Crystal Cove, you can look it up. It's called the Morrow Campground.
Here, we can go in it.
You can actually...
I have a pass.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You can actually come in here and you can actually go ahead and camp, which is cool. And a lot of the times, the best thing to do is go on the website, see if you can go ahead and get a camp spot. But one of my favorites are the camp spots that look over Pacific Coast Highway, and you go ahead and actually have a view of the ocean. And then when you want to go to the beach, you walk down and you go under the highway, and you come out into Crystal Cove. I'm always looking for, I'm always looking to see if they have spots, at the last minute.
Yeah, I've thought about driving up here and just showing up at 3, because somebody's got to not show up.
Exactly.
And,
I feel like a lot of people reserve
told me to go on the website, but I go on there and it's
There's
just
nothing.
So I think you got to be ready. I'm 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I'd have to drive up and go, nothing here tonight, fine. Or if there's something here tonight, then I'd stay there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the best spots, you guys, here's a good inside tip for you. The best spots here are the 50s, between 50 and 59. Those are the spots that actually overlook the ocean.
Yeah.
Those are great.
I agree with you.
And I think they call it primitive because there are no hookups or anything.
There are in
on the upper ones.
Yes,
There's hookups.
Yeah, there are sections.
But this one's pretty nice, and that whole row, the bathrooms are nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
They do not let you drive through the campsites to check them out, because that way they'd have gawkers at your campsite all day long.
Right.
So what we'll do is go through and down to that area where you talked about going underneath the day use area, and we'll go by the campsites.
Okay, sounds good.
A little bit, and this is the trailhead for hiking all throughout here. It's very good.
I heard it's really good hiking.
Yeah,
you could go pretty far in there.
Yeah.
So Crystal Cove State Park, I think if you go on to, I think it's recreation.gov, I think is the website, right? And that's where you could go ahead and check it out. But like Paul was saying, you go on the website and there's usually zero availability.
Yeah.
I would advise you to call. I actually ended up calling and saying, what do I need to do?
Yeah,
and
right.
they said, just call us on Friday. I said, all right, sounds good.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you. I
Good
do
morning.
too.
High time, 5 o'clock.
See?
Yeah.
It's a chick magnet.
Yeah, I know, right? Right? Check you out, Paul.
So here's some of the camp spots on the very top row. That are looking down there. They don't all have an ocean view, and you don't want to be next to the restroom. So there are. Yeah,
I learned that one the hard
I've got
way.
a layout on the map, and I go,
Yeah.
certain areas that. So we could park there and go down, but it's not worth the walk.
No.
But
It's kind of fun
This
just
will
showing
take us
people.
all the way down and get a little bit of the view. These are hiking trails. There's people up there. You can see them.
Definitely awesome.
And so that person is policing it.
Look at this view.
And this is all day use in
Take
here.
this down so we can see.
Yeah, right.
Wow, look at that view, you guys.
And then under the tunnel is where you go underneath the highway.
Yeah.
this is all day use. That pass is like 175 a year.
For the year?
Yeah.
Now, does this cover all state beaches?
All
or
California state parks, day use, not overnight.
All right.
But yeah,
that's
I
great.
can go all the way up Mendocino or wherever.
Very cool. The California Explorer annual pass, you guys.
That's
Definitely
a bargain.
good.
One of the bargains in California.
Right? Considering, yeah, probably the only bargain.
It really is. It's a good deal. So we're just going up to the trailhead and then I'll turn around.
Sounds good. Now this is fun. You know what's neat about this bus? I mean, there's a lot of neat things about it, but it's pretty cool how you can actually cruise in it and just have a conversation, which is nice. You know, there's sometimes you ride in some of the cars that are just really, really loud. I'll tell you which car is loud is that the ice cream bus that I have, since there's
I'm sure.
nothing in it.
Oh yeah, it's a cavern.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Good luck with that one. Even if you have like noise canceling headphones, it's still no, it doesn't.
Yeah, so there's
Look
the
at that,
trailhead
yeah.
right there.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's interesting. No dogs, huh? No dogs beyond that point.
Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
So a lot of people do day hikes in here.
So see, this turned into interview/travel tips by Paul Best, you guys. This is good.
Kurt Gowdy. Yeah.
Paul works for the California State Parks. You know?
No, I don't. I'm retired.
He's like, how about a plug for the California State
Yeah,
Parks?
right.
No, it's
Well, a bargain's a bargain. It is a good bargain.
That is.
I
No,
go
which
up
is
and there's
great.
a spot right up here where I'll go and put the safari windows out and watch the sunset over Catalina.
Yep.
You know, and either take a nap, read a book,
Yeah.
whatever. It's
No, dude, it's
great.
It's the
just
multi-million-dollar view. You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting when you think about real estate, as you know so well, and you see some of these homes that are here on the hills and on the cliffs, and you see the view that they have, and it's awesome to come in your bus and actually park up there at the top, like you said, pop open your safari windows and have that multi-million-dollar view. It's awesome. My wife and I actually did something like that for our anniversary years ago, where we went to Dana Point overlooking the harbor.
Oh yeah, right.
And I remember
Chart House is still up there.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I took a bottle of wine and I said, well, what do you think of this view? And popped open the bottle of wine, happy anniversary, and then just hung out for a little bit and then ended up going to dinner. I mean, the California coastline is just gorgeous.
This is actually a spot or two, but I wouldn't want to be up here.
Yeah. Nah, you're too close to all the traffic.
Well, and you don't really see the view, but
Right. What a gorgeous, gorgeous day.
yeah, isn't it nice?
Yeah.
It's really
This
great.
is really nice.
California's gold.
Yep. They're like, that was quick.
So we can either go down to Laguna, we can go
We can
into,
head back if you want.
or we could go into the parking lot across the street, but it's a better view of the ocean, but
I think this is good.
okay.
I was thinking about these guys that work for the state park. I think what a rough job, to cruise around in the little four-wheel drive gators and get paid for it. Clear on the right. Wow, look at that view. That's awesome.
There's something else, because you drive a lot of cabs and stuff like that. I used to have these curtains, well, they're still here, that went across the top there.
Okay.
And then I got one of those things that went on the outside here, and it opened up the whole interior because I don't have to close it off to get the privacy. And I thought to myself, wow, that's a huge thing. That's about 20% of the space.
Yeah.
So you can put suitcases or whatever. It just makes the the bus bigger.
It extends it.
Yeah, it really does. And so not only that, but then I was also able to put these things up here and not have them kind of like going up here and here.
Okay.
Which means when I'm looking over here, I can actually see.
That's true.
And it's because there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of windows, and also there's the mirror from the closet door.
Oh, right.
When you look back and you see the mirror,
that's true.
It's going the other way.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
See that?
Yeah, because it is pretty big size.
Yeah. So that's added in terms of safety and looking around, because you live off your mirrors.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting, that ambulance that I have, not only is it a panel, not only is it tall, you got all these blind areas, but you don't have a back window. So
there's none?
None.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you don't have a side view mirror, good luck.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you, I remember when I got a chance to ride in Ed Hughes's 1950 Radium bus. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I don't think so.
It was the oldest bus privately owned, I think, in the world, if I remember correctly. And this thing was absolutely gorgeous.
What year?
You could eat off of this.
Early 50s?
It was a 50. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't make them in the 40s, did they?
49, they did the prototype, but then 50 and was when they started, offering them.
Those little tail lights that were like that.
Yeah, that you can't see, or that people think those are your brake lights, but they don't realize your brake light's on the deck lid.
Yeah, right.
I got pulled over once. I had a 54 barn door, and I thought, I'm not even going to smell a beer at the car show because I know that I'm going to get pulled over.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I got pulled over, and officer was a nice guy, and he said, hey, I pulled you over because your taillights don't work. And I said, well, with all due respect, I said,
it does.
It does. You know, I said, we've got brake lights. It's just that brake light.
Yeah.
So I showed that to him, and I said, and by the way, my turn signals are these little things that pop up. And
semaphores.
Yeah. And so he got a kick out of it. And then I told him, I said, so I go, am I good to go? And he goes, yep. And I said, okay, good, because my wipers don't work, and it had started to rain.
Oh, God, yeah.
Those wipers they're borderline useless.
They just, they're only 8 inches long, and all they do is smear.
Yeah.
I took mine off. I have them.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not even going to bother with them.
Yeah.
And it clutters the view.
Right.
That's a nice...
That's a beautiful view. Yeah.
That's the Shake Shack there.
Yeah, that Shake Shack has gotten pretty popular. I mean, it's always been popular, but now it's like...
Okay.
Love that.
Down there is the Beachcomber restaurant.
I'll tell you, Beachcomber, that place is so good. That is tasty. That's another place, you guys, if you ever get a chance, you walk down that trail, and you can park over here at the Crystal Cove parking, and then just cruise down that way. Beachcomber, great restaurant right on the water. Highly, highly advised to show up at odd times, because to try and get a reservation is you'll be walking the beach for a little while. However, I got extremely lucky when we camped out. I forgot how far it was to walk down to the Beachcomber from that campsite.
It is.
Yeah, it was really far. And another buddy of mine and his daughters, they came down. When we cruised down there, we walked there, and I said, all right, here's the Beachcomber. We showed up, it was 5:30. The sun was going to be going down like at 6:15. And he said, my daughter even said, Dad, you really think we're going to get in? And I said, I don't know. It's worth a try. Walked up to the podium, went up to the gal and said, hi. I go, party of four? And she looked at me and she said, party of four? Is your party here? I said, yeah, they're right there. And she's like, right this way. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it.
Wow.
And not only did we get right in, my daughter was like, what did you do, slip her 100 or something? I said, no. I go, this is crazy. I go, it's not even my birthday. And we got a table, Paul, right on the porch, and we saw the sunset.
Oh, wow.
It was insane. I had to call my wife and say, too bad you're not here.
Yeah, right.
But we just got in. Yeah, it was incredible. By the way, speaking of barn doors, I've always thought of this hill here. This would be one heck of a hill to go ahead and
I
take
used to
up.
ride my bike up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a haul.
It is.
Very slowly, I might
Yep,
add.
yep.
But it was a challenge after the rest of the ride to come up here and finish it off. You felt like Rocky at the top of it.
Right. I love it.
So that spot where Stefan, it's just past the Marriott here.
Now that's really cool. I'll have to check it out sometime and use that as a little
Newport
area.
Coast Country Club.
Oh yeah.
Big entrance there.
Look at that. Pelican Hill, and then Marriott, Newport Coast on the right. This guy's gonna have fun. Yeah, what I was saying about that Radium bus, about the 1950 bus, it did not come with the passenger side mirror. And it's a panel bus, and it had no rear window. And so when we went to go do a photo shoot for Hobby W's, I got to ride in the bus, which is pretty cool, 25 horsepower motor.
Yeah.
And Ed said, "You get to be my side view mirror." And I thought, how did they do this back then? You know, I mean, I guess the thing only made left turns.
I know, yeah, right.
So now you're cruising in third gear right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's just easier just to do that.
Oh,
see
yeah.
right up here, see this driveway?
Yeah. Wow. How did he find that? That's so funny.
Hang on. I'll show you this. Stefan found it.
Oh, this is pretty cool. So we're actually going to the spot where the Hot VW's photo shoot.
Yeah, it was right in here.
Oh, no way, dude. I've never noticed this.
Yeah, so most of it was right up against that.
No
the
way.
Open spread was right there. Yeah, it was all in here. And so there's a little pagoda or something out there, and then there's some trails. There's a trail that goes off.
That's pretty cool.
So otherwise, it's
all right.
No restroom or anything, but
I think you're looking at nature's restroom, right?
yeah. Was that one of those things about glad to be a man?
Right.
The world is your urinal.
We'll have that be the quote, the caption on the video.
Right.
The world is that's funny.
Well, it's true.
No, I know. It is true. This is crazy. You know what's interesting? It's not even marked. There isn't a...
it doesn't say parking or doesn't say anything. And there's no chains on it. So it's kind of an interesting little spot. So it might be a nice place for a picnic or something.
Oh, that's cool. It's definitely beautiful. Were those your burnout marks from the last time when you left the photo shoot? Do you see that,
right,
guys?
Yeah.
It sounds really good, though. It sounds good, man. It sounds tight.
It's only got 9,500 miles.
Oh, really?
On the rebuild, so I'm pretty much done. The only other thing, someday if I got an itch for disc brakes, I might do that. But other than that,
give me a call. I'll hook you up.
No, I know. But these windows, I had to have that.
Yeah.
And you were right about the color. They come in stainless in this color here, but this fits this bus so much better.
Oh, big time. But I've got trivia for you. Fun fact about these. Some people don't know this, but here we go. Wolfgang Safari windows, the frames are stainless steel, even though they're powder coated. So the ones that are polished stainless, those are stainless steel and polished, but these are stainless as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is really cool. So they're great. They're not going to rust,
I know.
which is really nice. So a lot of times people say, oh, I want the stainless ones. Well, guess what? You're getting them anyway.
Yeah,
Which is really cool.
Well, it's the look.
Yep.
Whether you want chrome or whatever.
Right, exactly. Now the other thing too is that you can actually order them in raw and completely disassembled, and then you can get them painted to your liking. But it's a little bit more work.
That's all.
So
farther than I want to go.
Now, one thing that I noticed that you do that I have to do is when you use your turn signal switch. I like the way you do the switch.
Oh, like this?
Yeah. You do the under the hand thing. Why?
Because it moves. And you know what it needs?
Yeah.
I know what it needs.
All right.
It needs a set screw.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I hate to drill anywhere, but that's one thing.
Don't do it.
So no, I know, but there's 2 screws here.
Right.
You just can't cinch them up tight enough.
No. Right.
So
exactly.
I've tried maybe a piece of masking tape or electrical tape or something like that to make this thing tighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
No, it was funny because when we were turning right into the parking lot, I went, he does it like I do.
You have to. Otherwise, it's like you're pushing here.
Oh, yeah. It moves too much. It's almost like the old cars with 3 on the tree.
Yeah.
You know, you're shifting on the column.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, here's left turn, right turn. Yeah. No, that's funny. But yeah, it is kind of interesting seeing the way that people, drive buses. The other thing that's interesting too is on walkthroughs. I've always found it interesting that walkthroughs you have the most room for your stomach.
Oh,
actually.
Yeah. Oh,
if you like when I had my 60 panel.
It's right up there, isn't it?
Yeah, that steering wheel, man, it's rubbing your stomach. You know? So yeah, for some reason walkthroughs you have more room on them, which is I don't know why.
You know, it's not like I did a big study before I bought this. I just wanted the split, so I got lucky, dumb and lucky, but I did buy it. So, and I got real lucky on what it was, but I did look at the body because I knew everything else could be taken care of without too much expense.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out to be that way, better than I expected. Didn't really realize it was Riviera or any of that. I didn't know that much.
Oh, really?
It's turned out to be nice. I think
you got lucky. I
think this was one of the features that sometimes they don't panelize this. They leave it in
the cardboard.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which adds some nice touch to it.
It definitely does. I think it makes it look a little bit classier. The other thing too is it extends it. You know, it extends
makes
the roof forward.
Visually look better. So do the Safaris, and so does that extension in the back. That little deal there. Oh, this is a funny deal on the ashtray.
Yeah.
I have this St. Christopher's money clip.
Oh wow, it's a money clip. That's cool.
And I was trying to figure out where to mount it. And all I did was. This is the ashtray, but it's turned around.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I didn't want to drill anything. And then when I finally, great. So that put a use to it. But
that's pretty neat. I've never seen one as a money clip. My dad used to have just a magnetic, little gold one in his car. And then when he passed away, I thought, okay. I took it, and now it's in my panel. But yeah, no, those are pretty neat.
It's nice to have it, especially in a vehicle like this, because
you need everything.
I'm used to it, but I mean, I could kick a hole in this thing.
Oh yeah,
and in an accident,
I know, right?
So you go slow. You just It's a different kind of driving when you're looking ahead.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't because of traffic. You can't plan it, but It's like driving a boat. You need to look all around you. You need to see what's going on.
Right.
Things coming out of nowhere.
You know what I always like though is when you're driving a bus and there's always somebody that just, you see, they don't know the light patterns and they're hauling ass every time. And you keep pulling up next to them. You keep pulling up next to them,
Yeah.
And it's like, how you doing?
Not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the bus, it makes you do that. Once you drive with it, teach my daughters how to drive it. She's got a big clunky shoe, and I go, put your toe on here.
Yeah.
You're kicking the.
You're kicking the panel.
You're not putting the clutch all the way down.
Right.
So it's.
Well, it's interesting because there's some guys that have like size 12, size 13 shoe, right?
Yeah.
And then. I mean, to get in a Beetle, at least on a bus, your feet are separated, from the pedals. But like in a Bug, man, your shoe is right against that brake pedal and the accelerator at the same time. I actually, when I drive a Bug, and I don't have, I only wear a 10, but when I drive my Bug, I drive barefoot. It's a little bit easier.
It's Newport Harbor.
Wow, look at that view.
Balboa
Island.
That
view, you guys. That is gorgeous. I remember years ago, my brother and I, on a tandem bike came down this hill.
I came down
I
here too.
don't know what speed we hit,
Oh shit!
but all
It's
I
very
could think
fast
was, if we fall, they might as well just go ahead and bury us, man. 'cause
Yeah, well-
there won't be much of us left. Yeah, we were flying. What a gorgeous, gorgeous view. What a gorgeous day, too, man.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy, Paul, when I think about things. When I was in high school, actually, no, I'm sorry, when I was in college, and I would start getting all stressed out about tests and stuff, I would get into my truck. I had a little mini truck back then, and I would actually just, to clear my head, I would come driving up here, and I'd come to Spyglass Hill, and I would just listen to music, come cruising around.
Yeah.
Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that I would be doing video interviews in Volkswagens cruising around this neighborhood where I
Yeah.
was cruising around. And I'll tell you, it's pretty neat, man. Talk about full circle, you
Yeah.
know. By the way, changing subject, another place to eat, Farmhouse down at Rogers Gardens.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God, that
yeah.
place is good. That place is good.
Yeah, very nice place.
Yeah. Today's actually my anniversary, so it's kind of funny talking about
Happy
going down to Dana
anniversary.
Point. Thank you. And have you ever heard of the dock? Have you ever
Oh
been to
yeah,
the dock?
down there. Yeah,
Newport?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go
I just
down
went
there.
by it a couple times on a Duffy
Yeah.
a couple
That's
weeks
where
ago.
we're gonna go tonight.
Oh, that's
So,
a good restaurant. I
yeah,
love it.
It's excellent.
I haven't been there in a long time.
The only thing about that place is trying to get a reservation because
Yeah,
it's a small
tight.
little place.
It is small, right?
Yeah, and they only have two seatings, 5:30 and I think 7:30.
Huh.
You know, and but yeah, we were very fortunate to get in, so time to have a little bit of fun. Yeah, this neighborhood for your bus, man, it really puts it to the test, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but and I like to give it a stretch.
Yeah.
Keep things working.
And good for you. That definitely is what keeps it alive. You know, so many people don't give it a stretch.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then it's like, oh man, this isn't working or this is leaking
Yeah,
now.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, good timing here.
Yeah, that's super good timing.
Except there's
Except
a
the
gully.
dip.
Yeah, got to bottom out somewhere.
But that's the other thing that's cool about buses, huh? Is the fact that you could actually take this thing. I mean, I love the clearance that these have.
Yeah, there's plenty of
That little squirrel.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that squirrel had too much coffee. Did you see that thing?
Well,
That was a squirrely squirrel.
he had to move quickly.
Yeah.
I think he jumped out without looking.
Here I'm talking about how this thing could go over anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Squirrel killer.
Well, this is pretty neat. I'll tell you, Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to do
Yeah,
this.
you're welcome.
And congratulations in getting in Hot VWs.
You know what? That was really fun. You think of awards or magazine articles, and I used to think, oh, big deal, until you get one, or
Yeah.
until I've seen yours with the ambulance on there, and
Oh, that I got lucky
and I just wanted to be. Stefan's a great guy.
He is.
I waited 8 months because I didn't want to go in the reader's choice. Where
Oh, right, yeah.
Because you get a paragraph,
Right.
and so I just waited. I was in no hurry.
Yeah.
Finally, he said, "Hey, and Shin wants to have you in this thing." I went, "Oh, even better."
Yeah.
So it really turned out great, and I bought a bunch of copies. I've given them to friends and family, and
That's so cool.
yeah, it's
Very cool.
it's really fun.
It is fun. It is fun. And congratulations to you for finally getting your split bus, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, you scored,
Yeah, and here we are,
scored.
living proof.
Yep.
I take friends down, some guys my age, and we go have lunch together, and I'll take them in this thing and drive them down PCH, where we can all remember when we were driving vehicles of this vintage, and they were new. And so I show up with Beach Boys on the tunes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, big time. I mean, this thing's rad. Just go down to PCH and go grab a coffee,
Yeah, right,
park
exactly.
and then just chat away with people.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Okay.
Well, you guys, if you ever get a chance to see Paul at a car show and you actually get a chance to check out this bus, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful bus, definitely neat. And Paul's a pretty nice guy, so he's pretty easy to talk to. So, oh, look at that. We just drove by a bug. Someone's got like an early, well, at least
There's a
61
bus
earlier
right over
bug
here.
in a bus.
Is it this street or this street right here? It's not for sale. It's not a walkthrough.
Uh-huh.
I think it's right there. Yeah, there it is. See it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Yeah. Looks like a non-pop top Westie.
Correct.
Tin top Westie. Very
Correct.
cool. Awesome. Well, you guys, I'm going to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the ride and the little cruise through Newport and Pacific Coast Highway and Crystal Cove. Thanks again for watching, you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, come on, what are you waiting for? I'm going to bring more exciting content to you, and so you guys can actually learn more about folks like Paul and check out some pretty cool rides. So
Thank you, Eddie.
thanks again, you guys. Paul, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. And I think we'll take a walk around the bus real quick before we leave and go from there. So, all right, Paul, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Bye, you guys. See you at the next one.